I don't know if I'm making. The plan is over the next week. I know I already failed today by sending out a Chazarah. I was stopping, as we all heard, for a Rebbe. But the plan is to try our best over the Heilige Chanukah, the Yom Tov of Torah, believe it or not. Although nowadays it's more the Yom Tov of donuts and spending a lot of money on gifts and parties and all other good things. Tomorrow morning, I think we're having a halacha here, the Binyani Chanukah, which hopefully, b'siyat d'shmaya, will put us a little bit in the mode. I'm not there yet. Hopefully, we'll get there. B'siyat d'shmaya. So the plan is we're chazering Lamed Bees, Lamed Gimel. That is the plan. Okay, so let's start. No, have a donut. I had ice cream. Set a fireside the last 2 nights. Yeah, don't worry. I'm not lacking in gashmis. Not lacking in gashmis. Baruch Hashem. Okay. Yeah, this was all work related. Baruch Hashem, hanging out with the boys. Okay, let's go. Lamed Aleph Amid Beis. 3 lines down. Oh, Haley go of David, of Sov, Freilichen Yom Tif, Shel Ashira, Shel Ir Hanidachas. Well, the echo is so much worse when there's no one here. It's crazy, the difference, no? Usually it's not so bad. This is Shel Ashira, Shel Ir Hanidachas. We're starting a Succah Chazarah right now, the bottom of Lamed Aleph Amid Beis. And again, the goal is going to be to chazar these 2 blot over the next week. Today's Tuesday. The next shir is going to be Thursday. A week from Thursday. Actually, I'm just thinking out loud right now if that Thursday. Yeah, I hope that Thursday everything should be good. So a week from Thursday. Amir Hashem. So let's get started. Shal Ashira, Shal Ir Nidachas. Shalashira Pas asks the Gemara, is a lulav, where this is still in lulav world, where we've been in Hadas world, but the first blot is really lulav. Shalashira Pasul. What's the kasha of Amarava? Lulav Shalavayda Zara. A lulav Avayda Zara lo yitel, you're not allowed to use, but ve'im natal kosher. So why are you telling me? If you look back at the Mishnah where the parak began, it said Shal Ashira, Shal Ir Nidachas is pasul. On Chav Tasim and Beis. So says the Gemara, how is it pasul? Rava taught us a lulav avodah zara. Shal Ashira we think is avodah zara. It's not kosher, but if you take it, you're kosher. You're the mitzvah. Answers the Gemara. Hacha, you know what the Mishnah is talking about? Not stam avodah zara. Be'ashera de Moshe asking us. We're learning that there's 2 levels of ashera. There's a stam ashera, which means what? Avodah zara. Then there's ashera of Moshe, which is what? The chetuse michtas shiura, which means literally chetuse michtas means it's chopped up. Shiura. There's no shear. It's not. It's as if it's not here. Why is it as if it's not here? So if you look at Rashi fills us in. Bashir de Moshe. Rashi says those that were in Eretz Yisrael, that when Moshe Rabbeinu conquered, well, not Moshe Rabbeinu, it's not Moshe Rabbeinu. She'etzrichan akasov sreifa. Rashi teaches you have to burn those, and therefore what? The lulav tzarich shear. The lulav has the requisite shear. And this is as if it's lacking, it's not there. Why? So it's a very interesting thing. I think if you were to ask anyone, why are you not allowed to use a lulav of an asherah tree? So the first thing they would say, what in the world's an asherah tree? So if you tell them, oh, asherah is avodah zara, say, avodah zara. Avodah zara. They say mitzvah b'aveira. They say all the tyrants in the world. It's not true. The answer is of an asherah tree. Ironically, b'diavad b'yaitse of an asherah of Moshe Rabbeinu. That doesn't work. But why not? Nothing to do with the fact that it's avodah. I mean, that is the reason. But because it was worshipped as avodah zara, the halacha is it has to be destroyed. Because it has to be destroyed, it's lacking in the shear. It's as if it's non-existent. So you can't have a lulav that's non-existent. Tekenami. Yeah, it's funny, right? It's like it's a secondary step almost.
I mean, also it's not actually destroyed yet. It just like has to get destroyed.
But one would have thought, okay, but right now it's here.
Right.
So you want to tell me right now it's a mitzvah of Aveira? You want to tell me something which has the stigma of a Chazarah? All that I could have heard. No, anything that is going to be destroyed. I'll tell you a similar concept we have in halacha. Something called kol ha'imi ligzois kikatzutz dami. So halacha, a woman has to cut her nails before she goes to the mikvah. Let's say she forgets. So there's a whole Torah, but one of the reasons is if you're going to cut something, it has the status as if it's cut off now. So what? So then listen to this one. What?
Actually, kosher if she doesn't do it.
Lemais, it depends on what level she doesn't cut her nails. Often, if she forgets to cut her nails, it's if as long as it's clean underneath, we're makel. And usually, even if a woman forgets, usually she cleaned under the nails. But the reason, listen to this one. La halacha, we view anything which is going to be cut off as if it's cut off. Okay, so that nail as if it's cut off. What's the problem? It's still there. So the nail is blocking the nail. So it's a chatzitza. Why? Because when you go into the mikveh, every bit of the water has to touch every bit of your body. But if there's something which is about to come off and it didn't, so it's like it's there, it's blocking itself. So it's a fascinating concept. Similarly, the Chassidim, I don't want to get myself in trouble over here. Chassidim, we all know, certain Chassidish sects, they shave their head. The women shave their head. So the shaila is, when do they shave their head? Is it right before the chasana or right after the chasana? It's different minhagim. What? No. It's not all the chassidim. It's not all the chassidim. No. Yeah, it's subcategory. It depends how from there. But Lamaisa Chasam Sefer already has a tshuva in which he asks that it seems like there was a minhag that the morning after the chasana they would shave off their head. Kacha. So Frekte Chasam Sefer, 1 second. If you know the hair is going to be cut off, so the day before when she goes to the mikvah, it's as if it's not there. Frekte Chasam Sefer should be a chatzitza. Meir take a zach. Meir take is a real tyrus. But either way, back to us, because it's going to be destroyed, it's if it's not there. What? Because it's going to be destroyed, it's in my mind, it's a similar concept. Since it's going to be destroyed, it's as if it's non-existent. So a non-existent can't be used as a mitzvah. Take an ami, a raya, take a tani, because the Mishnah said, Dimya dir nidachas. Shma minan, and ir nidachas is the same reasoning that an ir nidachas is a place that must be destroyed. Because it has to be destroyed, it's as if it is destroyed, and therefore it's lacking in the shear. Mayridik. Nikdam Raisha, next case. Again, we're still in lulav world. If the top of the lulav is cut off, Amar Rav Huna loishanu ela nikdam. When is the lulav possible? If it's nikdam, if it's cut off. Aval nistak, if it's cracked, kosher. Frak the Gemara, asked the Gemara, the nistak kosher. V'hatanya, but we learned in a brayso lulav kafuf, a bent over lulav. As we turn over to Lam Beis and Aleph, kavutz, or what does kavutz mean? Thorns. That's what I've written here. I have a fancy art school word. I don't know what these words mean. Barbed? Barbed? Yeah, but that means like thorns. Same word. That's like an adjective. Fascinating. Okay, apparently that was the art school term that my Gemara copied in many moons ago. I think we could stick with thorns. That might be a little bit easier. Saduk, split. Akum, doime limagol. It's good, rounded, it's curved like a magol, which is a sickle with an S. It's embarrassing. I spelled it with a C. Weiter. That's my high school. Puzzle. Yeah. Puzzle. It is puzzle. Charus. What does charus mean? So Rashi says it's kosher. It's very hard. Puzzle. Doime lecharus. If it's similar to being charus, as Rashi on the last wide line explains, it's starting to harden, but it's not really hard yet. What's the halacha? Kosh. Amar Papa. Excuse me. So what was the kash of the Gemara? We just said nistak. is kosher. The problem is what? We see over here that what? It should be pasul. Why? Good kasha. 1 second. We're saduk. When it says saduk, what does saduk mean? It means it's split. So saduk, it's split. So splitting, we think, is the same thing as nistak. Ironically, it's the same word. So at the Gemara's kasha is, we just said nistak, the implication, again, let's get this clear. The Mishnah said niktam, if it's cut off. That implies, if it's not cut off, it's there, it just split, it's kasha. Frak Gemara, what do you mean? The Brisa says sadik is pasul. Amar Rapapa, says Rapapa, when it says that it's pasul, doesn't mean that the top leaf or the spine is split. It's pasul is the avid kehimnik. So when it's like a himnik, which is that it's basically, what let's call it, mamish, separated. Okay, so there's a fine nuance going on over here. Basically, if you were to say it's separated, the question is how much? If it's split, the difference is split, separated. Okay. The Avid Kemnik, so if you want the precise, if you look at Rashi, Rashi says it's like Shtei Shidra Ois. Mechetzitz Elyon Lekan, Mechitz Elyon Lekan. It's basically fully split. Fully split, I guess, is the way to coin it. That we're saying that when it says Sadik is pasul, means it's fully split. Okay. Akum. So now if it's curved, like a sickle, it's only if it's curved forwards. If it's curved backwards, that is its natural form, and therefore it is kosher. When do we say no? No, incorrect. No, I was right the first time. Correct. Good. I'm sorry. The brain's starting today. Says the Gemara, Nachma. If it's curved like a sickle, what's the halacha? Pasul. Comes along the Gemara explains, when is it pasul? Only if it's curved forwards. But if it's curved backwards, then that's the normal way of doing it, and therefore it's going to be kosher. Amar Rav Nachman. Let's say it's curved to the sides. Kilofan of dummy. That's like forwards, which is going to be pasul. V'amrila, and some say kilachar of dummy. It's like backwards, so it's kosher. V'amarava hai lulava the solik b'chadhutza. This lulav that's leaning on one side, bal mum hu pasul. It's going to be pasul. So when all the dust settles, has anyone ever seen a sickle curved like a sickle? Is mamish. Oh, the elbows are here. Oh, the Maisa, we have 7 here. If we get 3 more from Erev. I daven, but I'll stick around. Sickle is mamish a full curve. It's not just a little bit bent. So the Gemara is explaining, if it's curved like a sickle, then when's it going to be pasul? It's going to be pasul, depends on which way it is curved. If it's curved, again, let's get this straight. If it's, no, it's a bad pun. If it's curved forwards, it's pasul. If it's curved to the sides, then what? It's like it's forwards and it's pasul. So the only time it's kosher is lachayrov, curved backwards. Everyone wants to know what is forwards and backwards. It's a good question. It means based on the direction which side the spine is at. Okay. It really wasn't complicated. I just made it very complicated. Let's just say it one more time. I apologize. We learned that what? A lulav. We're on the top of Lamed Beis Amud Aleph. We started a chazar. If the lulav is curved like a sickle, it's pasul. The Gemara explains it's only pasul if it's curved forwards or sideways. But if it's curved backwards, that's its natural form, and it's going to be kosher. Mayridik. Never to olav. Oh, we're at 9, mamish. Wow, look at that. Never to olav. If the leaves are torn off. Literally, nifratu is torn off. Amar Rabba. Nifratu, what does nifratu mean? To ovid, it's made ki chufya, like a broom. Now, what does that mean? That it means is the leaves are ripped off, reattached, right? Like a primitive broom, bristles are like tied onto the stick. So when you have your lulav, if the leaves are ripped off and then they're re-tied back on, that's when it's possible. Nifradu is kasha. The ifrad afrudi just means that it's separated. The top's a little bit separated, but it's not completely detached. So Bayi Rav Papa on this Shaila of Rav Papa really brings us back to how we started today. Because we started today that if the top is cut off, it's kasha. Says the Gemara, but if it's split, it's going to be kasha. Again, the top is cut off, it's possible. But if it's split, it's going to be kasha. So the Gemara then went along to explain what does split mean, right? Because we had a Bryce that said split is going to be a problem. So it's going to be a problem. So the Gemara answered to Ovid Kehimnik. So basically, in the way we explained it is it's different levels of splitting, right? It could be a little bit split, and it could be fully split. Says the Gemara. So by Papa, nechliku atiyaimes. If the tiyaimes, if the spine, that's the middle leaf, is split, what's the din? So again, off of this shayla, we really need clarity on what the previous Gemara meant. This previous Gemara just said it's Ovid Kehimnik. It's Ovid Kehimnik, which we said it's separated. But now the shayla of Rav Papa is if the tiyaimes is split, what's halach? So Tashma Rav Yechon Rav Shimon Levi nitla tiyaimes is possible. What does nitla mean? It's not there. So the Gemara, step number one, and remember we're going to have two L'Shainais. Step number one says, if the spine is not there, my lav hu adin nechliku. Isn't it the same din if it's split? Answers Gemara, loi, nitla shiny. Why? For the reason everyone is thinking. Because if the spine is not there, then your lulav is lacking. It's missing something. But if it just split, it's not the same thing. That's the first lashon. The second lashon of Rabbi Yechon Shimon Levi, nechliku atiyaimes. If it's split, nase kimi, we make it as if shenitla atiyaimes, it's not there, and puzzle. So two different l'shainais. What is the level of the spine being split? Okay, let's stop over here. Let's hope we get a 10th man from Meir. And again, the goal is every day to try to chazer a little bit, so that when we get together next Thursday, so more than a week, we'll have these two blots in Mirz Hashem in the bank. B'siyat Shmai.